Hey folks, it's News in the Flash today, on January 16th, 2025, Thursday. First item, there's basically just four items that we'll be going over today. It's a slow news day. The first major item, reported everywhere, is that 70 plus Palestinians have been killed in the Gaza airstrike by Israel amid ceasefire claims. Uh, this is a tragedy, where people are dying. Again, the killing must stop there. Um, I'm of the view that in this situation that a new Palestine must be declared in Jordan, either with the Jordanian king as a constitutional monarch or as a republic. I would prefer a republic because I am a great believer in republics and I don't believe in monarchy. But I believe that should be the new Palestine. Then the land of Israel, including Gaza and the West Bank, should be Israel. Um, I think that this nonsense needs to stop. The land of Israel was occupied by Hebrews long ago. It was Jewish in its religious nature, although there are different forms of Jews. The current Jews are from the kind of the Pharisee sect, if you would, who existed at Jesus' time, if you believe in Jesus. So, but anyways, I think that's going to probably be the only solution in the end. Either that or kicking the Jews out of Israel, which I think is wrong. Um, the Palestinians need a homeland, and that homeland should be Jordan. In fact, that's where many live now. There may be some control over some certain historic sites within the West Bank that are important to the Palestinians, or and maybe control over the Muslim area of Jerusalem. But beyond that, I think that's the proper solution. Netanyahu says that in regards to that there's a delay in the vote in their parliament there, claiming that Hamas is backtracking on things. This could possibly be true. Like I said, this is a horrible situation over there. It's been going on for decades. There has to be a solution, and the only solution is a hard solution, and that is a one state Israel and a one state Palestine. Palestine existing in what is today Jordan, replacing that even in name. Again, with a constitutional monarch of the Jordanian monarchy or a republic, which is what I would prefer, but it's up to them. And a state of Israel, where it is now, including the Gaza and West Bank, with a 10% minority of Christian and nonviolent Muslims living among them. The city of Jerusalem in this sort of situation should be divided, which it probably is now, should be divided up into Christian, Muslim, and Jewish sector. The Jewish sector, of course, would be the capital of the nation of Israel. The Muslim sector would be a protectorate of the new nation of Palestine, which would be in Jordan. And the Christian sector would become a protectorate, at least in my offer, of the United States of America, protected by American troops. And uh, that's how that and certain cities, like Bethlehem and Nazareth, maybe, that are fundamental to Christianity should become protectorates of the U.S. And Christians living in the region, maybe. But especially in Jerusalem, that's how it should be divided. Two protectorates and a third controlled by Israel, would be its capital. And underneath such an agreement, the Golan Heights areas, including the new territory just taken, would remain as a part of Israel. And I would even include the Sinai Peninsula, to be honest with you. But that doesn't seem to be a problem nowadays, so there's no sense figuring that out. In addition to this, I believe that the nation of Lebanon needs to be fixed. It was originally a Christian kingdom, and it was invaded by Muslims. And of course, there's been conflict ever since. They've destroyed the city of Beirut, which was the Paris of the Middle East, the beautiful city. So they need to remove the Muslims from Lebanon and have them settle in Syria, in a portion of Syria in their own state, and make Lebanon the Christian kingdom, if you would, or the Christian republic of the Middle East, much like Israel is the Jewish republic, with maybe a 10% minority of Muslims and Jews and others. Um, so Lebanon is the Christian republic north of Israel, would preserve Israel's borders to the north because they would be friendly to Israel. Um, the Camp David Accords and things like that between Egypt and Israel protect Israel to the south, and to the east we have Syria, and to a large extent the New Palestine. The New Palestine should be friendly with Israel, and should prevent any sort of conflict there, hopefully. And in addition to that, a new Syria needs to be a secular one. It needs to be an experimental republic, which is secular, not Islamist, and much like Turkey tried to be, and a separation of religion and state, and with a strong constitutional presidency that is limited in how many years it can serve and things like that, much like our own, but overseen by the USA and other allies to ensure peace there as well. Uh, this has been a conflict in the Middle East that's been going on for many years, and the only solution are hard solutions. Next in line, in the news that I have written down, is that Britain and Ukraine are to sign a 100-year alliance deal. This Starmer idiot over there, and the idiots in Britain, the United Kingdom. Uh, Britain's going to, and I don't mean it's people so much. They're being abused and they're being replaced essentially through migration. But I mean the government over there and the political parties that are currently in control. The Labour Party that no longer represents Labour, no longer represents the British public, and the that is basically much like many left-wing parties in the world, workers' parties, have been seized by and taken over by leftist ideology and wokeism and greenism and all that other nonsense. That's what Labour is now, and the Conservative Party over there is not any better. It's just a modern version of modern Labour, and both parties adhere to the crazy ideas of Adam Smith and free market capitalism and free trade in some form or another. Used to not believe in that. They believed more in a kind of a socialist vision, which I also disagree with. I don't believe socialism is a solution to the problems of capitalism. There are better solutions and better reforms that can be made. But anyways, and one of those, of course, is what we call Hamiltonian economics, or what I like to call mercantile capitalism, which is the form of capitalism that built the British Empire originally, that made us powerful, and the type of capitalism that made France a successful nation under Colbert and Louis XIV, and the type of capitalism that made Germany under Otto von Bismarck a successful and strong nation until again the British and their intrigue, in my opinion, caused World War One and destroyed, and the Germans foolishly trapped themselves into it with some of their, with their leadership, their Kaiser, or and and that's kind of a story for another day. Um, and so here we have once again the British being foolish, being stupid, maybe being manipulative. I don't know. Uh, Britain is also going to deliver a missile defense system. Uh, the leftists and globalists, because globalism is rooted in these leftist principles, which I think are just meant to destroy nation states in order to have some sort of global government of some sort, which would be a tyranny. It would definitely be a tyranny over us all, and be a means for tyranny. The nation state is the firewall against such tyranny, and they want to destroy the nation state. But anyway, both are bad ideas. We need the killing to stop in the Ukraine. Russia, if you listen to the speeches of Vladimir Putin, they sound more American and more in line with American principles that we used to believe in during the days of JFK and Eisenhower and so on, are true principles than these speeches of Biden, for example, or that of Keir Starmer in Britain. or whatever. They're more in alignment than that of the EU and their principles. Not that he's a perfect person. I'm no defender of the things he's done or has been accused of doing that may be wrong. But and you must always look at both sides of any situation. But I do believe that Putin and Russia in general has the potential to be one of America's greatest allies in restoring and defending Western civilization. And I don't think the globalists like this. I really don't. And I think that that is where the main issue is here. Zelensky is an idiot. He's of course, you heard the stories about him, and he's killed millions of Ukrainians, and a lot of Ukrainians have left Ukraine, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for them, because they don't want to be slaughtered. I don't blame them, to be honest with you. So first and foremost, the killing must stop. Must let Trump get in there and forge some peace. And Britain needs to get out of there. The British are acting on the world stage far in proportion to their actual power anymore. They do have their Commonwealth, which is kind of a semi-empire. If they used it right, they could become quite powerful again, or maybe that's how they do use it. Who knows? It's a means of selling their finished goods and bringing in raw materials, which is the way they became powerful in the first place. But if they don't use it in that way, the British are basically not what they used to be, and they're only powerful because we make them so. Britain has the potential, with the right leadership such as Farage, to not only forge a great economic alliance with the United States, but a political one. Uh, Britain, Canada, with the right leadership, Australia, New Zealand, we have a common heritage, a common mother country in Britain, and a common heritage in the Magna Carta and other things that happened in British history. And we were the rebellious child that declared independence in a republic, which is a form of government I believe that is much higher and much better than a monarchy. The British can keep their monarch; they seem to like it, and independence, of course, as a nation. But forming a great alliance with these nations I just mentioned, and possibly having parts of Canada join us as states, would be a great solution to the future, and maybe in our future, but not with the current leadership. The British are doing the wrong thing here. Why they're doing that, I do not know, but I think they're captured by globalists, and they're allowing millions of migrants into their country who are doing harm to their young girls. The rape gang scandal, for example, which they will do nothing about. Britain is on on the line to become a Muslim country. Islam, as I've said in the past, I have nothing against it personally. I believe all religion is man-made, but it is the most violent religion it seems out there. That it produces a lot of violence, and I don't think it's really all that great for women's rights and for other things that Western man believes in and has advanced in. So it needs a great reformation in many ways. But anyways, if that's what they want, they want. But the point is that their government over there has not been working in their interests, and they need a change. And hopefully that change will come through Farage and the Reform Party, which is their populist party. See, populism is rising as a response to globalism, left and leftism. It is really a movement of the common people, a unity between those who used to be the force behind the Social Democratic and Labor Party type of people who were in favor of workers' rights and things like that, a better workers' society, the workers of society, and alliance between them and the more traditional kind of Tory type people, conservative type people who believe in patriotism and love a country. Those two groups are coming together because they realize they have a common enemy, and they're coming together under populism, which is rooted in the universal principles upon which this nation was conceived. You can find them in the Declaration of Independence and the constitutional principles of the United States of America, which are found, at least what government should do. I don't mean necessarily in its form, because that could be, we were given the power to reform that, and I think we still need some reforms in that. We can discuss that at a later time. But what I mean is the preamble of the Constitution. Read it sometime. That's what government should be doing, including the promotion of the general welfare. So, anyways, on to the next news item. Kind of went off the topic there. Is nearly 2 million aliens migrated to Germany. Again, this is in 2023, the highest amount since 2016. And this is another situation where, against the wishes of the people there, in face of quite high unemployment in the East German region, in face of many of these aliens are from parts of the world that have nothing in common with Germany and German ethnicity and with German culture. It's a cultural replacement. I wouldn't worry about the issue of race. I think it's used by leftists and globalists to stop debate. It's about culture. German culture likes to drink. They like their pork. And many of these immigrants have been Muslims and Turks who are Islam is opposed to drinking and pork. So these are not Germanic peoples in culture, and yet they expect it to get along. And then, of course, they practice a religion that unfortunately is very chauvinistic in regards to women, at least in the present moment, before any sort of reformation. And it's also very violent, produces a lot of violence. As can be seen in Britain with people's heads being cut off and rape gangs, and it can be seen in Germany itself with New Year's celebrations and things like that that have happened there. Uh, why the governments of these nations are doing this to their own people? Why there's an attack upon Western civilization, the greatest civilization that has ever existed in the history of mankind that we know of? They brought us essentially over 99% of the technological advancements, much of it here in America, actually, because of our freedoms, that we live with today, including the cell phone and the television and all the things we enjoy today from Western man and Western civilization. Not because of race, it's because of how we thought, our culture, our belief in reason and reasonable thought, our scientific revolution, all these things. And even in the Golden Rule and having faith, which is in the Christian religion, helped us get to that point, the Reformation, and things of that nature. So um, that is being overthrown, if you would, by an elitist group who want to control us. They don't want freedoms for us, it seems. Freedom is what, and freedom of the human mind is what has led to these advancements. It could lead to them anywhere in the world, whether it be Asia or Africa or anywhere. All humans have that capacity, but they are often held down by their controllers, if you would. Another thing that's happening in Germany as well, of concern is that the German government there, there's not as much freedom there as there is in America. And this is seen in that they want to decree that the AFD, the Alternative for Germany, be outlawed in as many places as possible. And AFD policemen are they want to fire them. They want to do everything they can to try to stop that populist movement, which is the populist movement of Germany, which is again like a Farage's reform and like Le Pen's, I think she calls it the National Front. Uh, they're all different in their own right, in the sense of how the French and German and British people are different. And it's very much like our MAGA movement here, that's reforming the Republican Party. Um, they're all different in how the nationalities are different. Some are more conservative, some a little bit more leftist. But populism in the sense of projecting the will of the people into the debate and getting the elitists who have destroyed their nations and encouraged this migration, for example, into Germany, um, getting them out of power and telling them to go after themselves. We don't need you anymore. Well, they're trying to fight the AfD, and they're trying to do it through legalism and by banning them and by basically violating their basic human liberties. Uh, so that's another thing going on there. The last thing they really kind of bring up today is kind of a sad story where a boy 8 was killed, and we hear stories of this all the time. It's something to be concerned with, especially if you have children, and even older people, older adults who can't get around as much as they used to, or just simply out walking with their little dog or whatnot, have suffered the same fate. An 8-year-old boy was mauled to death, bitten 12 times. What was happening? He was out playing, riding his bike, and he saw a pair of dogs. Apparently, dogs that the entire neighborhood said were harassing people for a while, and they should have reported it to the police. Is what they should have done. But anyways, he went over to try to pet them. And at first they seemed to accept the petting, but basically they jumped on top of him and then started biting him. The mother apparently saw this and heard of this, saw this and jumped on top of her son. But by the time she jumped on top of her son to keep dogs away from attacking, he wasn't breathing and was basically dying or had died. Um, the great moral, not moral to the story, but the thing that seems to occur over and over and over again in all these stories is the type of dog. In over 90% of these stories, if not more, the dog is a pit bull. And pit bulls are trained to kill. They're a breed that is not meant to be owned, much like owning lions or tigers or so on. I am not in favor of having pit bulls as pets. They should be all rounded up and they should all be put to sleep. And we should forbid the sale of pit bulls to human beings. They're a major problem. They've attacked children, they've attacked their owners, and they've attacked just out of the blue, attacked because it's in their instincts. That's what they were trained for. It's not so much how they're being trained. They're good. There are people say, well, they're good dogs. They don't do any harm if you treat them well. That's not true. This is one breed of dog that uh, it needs not to be a pet. And anyways, that's news for the day. That's news in a flash. Um, have a great day, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, have a good day, folks. Thanks for watching.